Hello lovelies and welcome to an art journal video today. So I actually had a different plan for this. I know I wanted to focus my painting and inking and stamping all on one section on the right hand side, and then I had an idea to do something different on the left, but it just didn't work out. But in the end, I do love how this turned out. Like I've mentioned in the past, I am trying to focus on white space a lot because I am one of those tend to put paint and ink all over the page. But I really do love it when I see those big clusters of layers and then all that white space. So I thought I'd give it a go, and this is how mine turned out. So I'm starting with some of the collage tissue. Now, my plan was to just build layers. Just colour, inking, stamping, all on the... I'm starting with... I've got some washi tape because it was on my desk and I thought that would be cool too. Put a strip of this collage paper down, and then to help it blend in and sort of start merging together, I've just put some gesso over it very lightly. And then I've got this stencil. Now you can't really see, anything on there. I'm using gesso on a Dilutions mixed media page, which is like an ivory, but you can't really see it. But it's not really about being able to see every detail. It's about creating layers. So that was what I intended. I just wanted a bit of a layer, and you'll see what happens when I add my paint. Yes, I'm using gesso as a glue because I'm lazy. You'll see what happens when I add my paint over the gesso. Now, sometimes you'll get a bit of a resist, but I wanted it watered down. But you'll see that it does mute the colour a little bit. So it all adds up. When you're making a page, if you want to be about the layers, yeah, you're not going to see everything, but it just helps build that background. So I put out some colours. I got a fluoro magenta, but I don't end up using it. Instead, I have this crimson. I wanted a little bit because I did want it very watered down. So I start with my finger, but I want to water it down more. So I'm spraying it. This is where I make a bit of a boo-boo, but I go with it. You'll notice the colour changes. My paint water was very dirty and it had more purple in it than that. So it did add a bit of purple to my lovely crimson colour. But like I said, I'm going with it. So the whole point was just I wanted a very washed out sort of look. I'm going for a very flowy, I just wanted some colour. But as you can see right now, you can see all the different sections of my layers, and I don't like that. I want to help it all blend together. So I'm using my finger, I'm getting some more of that paint in there, and I'm just sort of trying to blend it all together. You will notice this gets easier when I start adding my stamping on top as well. I'm using some more gesso to try and blend that tape, washi tape in. It looked weird just sticking off the side there. That's Ruby. I'm trying to record my voiceover while she is still awake, which is, not the smartest move, but I really want to get this video up. Hopefully I will finish before she starts squealing for attention. So, like I said, adding more layers to try and blend this together and push it back a little more. I've also added some black. I do all my stamping in black paint as well. I've mentioned this in all my videos before. I like the bold print it gives you, whereas sometimes ink pads can be a bit hit and miss. So I've used it with my silicone brush just to sort of brush it in a few areas, and as you'll see, my layers are starting to merge a bit better. They're not just bits of paper stuck in certain places. You can see now it's starting to come together. Like I said, I'm using black paint for my stamping. That collage triangles is one of my favourite and most well used stamps. This is a new stencil I haven't used. This is a mark making stencil. So I'm just adding bits and pieces here. And yes, I make a boo-boo there. My stencil was dirty, but yeah, we're going with it. It's an art journal page. This is the ladders stamp, and I thought it would work to go with my layers because they are, as you'll notice, all going up and down the page. So yeah, this is my favourite stamp. This is one of the crosses stamp. Actually, the crosses is one of my favourite, but this is a smaller version from a mark making set. I couldn't find my big ones, but either way, a cross is always a good thing to add to a page because I can't help myself. I've got to have splatters. I love splatters on a page, especially when I've got two distinct clusters like I have here. And yeah, I love how this page turned out. I'm not the best with white space. As you can see, I may have started out trying to get a small section on the right hand side and I end up with a section that takes up half the page, but I do love how it turned out. I'm glad I did this little cluster on the left-hand side as well. It's like a smaller version of what's happening on the right, which is great. So then I go into my stash. I have a drawer with all my Scrap FX supplies. And when I go to do a page for my Scrap FX post, I take all my stuff out of there. I just choose random things from the drawer. This is a transparency with a whole bunch of words that I like to use for titles. And I find the best way to attach these is to just staple it. And this says, I run a tight shipwreck. And I just really loved it. So I hope you have enjoyed this quick video. But yeah, I really enjoyed putting this page together. So I'll see you soon for a new one. Bye for now.